But let's move into the next topic, and we're talking about best fits for Goga Bitadze. He is a Georgian player, said to be around 6'11", 7 feet tall, 241. He was born July 20th, 1999. So the start of the season, he will be 20 years old. So that's a little bit older, at least compared to guys
Not
like
quite
Jackson
true
Hayes.
freshman, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's definitely an interesting player to be on the look for. He plays for KK Mega BMax. If I am pronouncing that wrong, my apologies. It's a Serbian team. And he's a very interesting player to me because he is very fluid, Dave, both offensively and defensively. He's got a decent stroke from the outside. He's a pretty good rebounder, and he seems really intense, which is something that I really love. And when we talked with John a couple months ago, I think it was a month ago. A month ago, I compared him to Enes Kanter if Enes could play defense. And we see what Enes now has been doing in Portland, and we saw what he was doing with Oklahoma City before he went to New York and kind of lost his thunder. Mm-hmm. He can really be an effective player out there. And I saw someone in our comments compare him to a more athletic Nikola Jokic. I don't see that at all. I don't see the passing skills and the court vision like Nikola has.
Right.
There's been games where he has 4 assists. He had back-to-back games with 4 assists, but really it's not really topping over 2. So he's a guy that I'm really interested as just more of a kind of a traditional 5 who can kind of stretch it out a little bit and play some really aggressive defense. Maybe he's going to get into some foul trouble, but I think he's going to at least put some hard fouls on guys, try to block shots. He seems like he's a really built player too. What is your range for him, though? Where are you kind of putting him? Because obviously his age is a little bit older. He seems like he might be a little bit raw just because, international players, we always have that assumption. He's not playing in
test?
He's not also playing in one of the better leagues.
Right.
He's not playing in what Luka was playing in last year. So what are you kind of gauging Goga at right now? Where are you putting him?
I'm putting him in the probably 12 through 25 range, and I'm leaning more towards in the first half of that. He could just get tipped into the end of the lottery, I think, via a team like the Celtics because of their multitude of picks. They really want to secure it because, to be fair, while center isn't the sexiest position of today's NBA, it is a position that is fairly thin in this draft class, and he's someone who looks like he has a bright and long future in the NBA, and I could see him going a little bit later, but I think that the Celtics are really maybe the first team, so maybe 14, but I don't know. It's right at that tail end of the lottery could be where he jumps off the board. I do agree, though. His game looks good. He's strong. He's got good size, and he's got really good handles for his size. I've been most surprised by that. Mm-hmm. Footwork-wise, I think about average foot speed, but that's not bad as a 7-footer. He's not someone who I expect to get run off the court. The thing for me is where's the conditioning going to be at the NBA level? Yeah. So that transition might take a bit, but
and that's the biggest disappointment that I have right now because currently he's still playing. His most recent game that we can at least find was from May 16th. So that was yesterday. And he in a loss he played about 30 minutes, 6 of 12 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He went to the line 17 times and went 13 of 17. With 15 boards, 4 blocks, and 26 points. So a really good game. Mm-hmm. Had 4 personal fouls, kind of like what I was talking about with the aggressiveness. I don't know if he really has that locked down yet. That's kind of the worries that I have. I have him, my last big board, I had him as my 14th best player. I think he might be jumping Nicky Alexander-Walker because I'm not sold on Nicky. I think I was overhyping Nicky Alexander's ball handling a little bit more, so I thought he could be a little bit more of a better combo guard. Mm-hmm. I think he has that ability, but Nick might need to work on it a little bit more.
Okay.
And Clark is falling a little bit.
Measurements.
This is something we'll talk.
Reality hit.
This is something you guys will talk about with. I think it's Matt next week. On the Primetime Podcast about who really won and gained from the combine and who lost from the combine. Clark's athletic tests were great. Over a 40-inch vertical, super quick. I think it was shuttle speed or something like that. He was one of the faster players,
especially first position. He blew everybody out of the water.
Yeah, but that's the thing is he that position though? Because he came in as 6'8" with shoes. And he doesn't have the longest
Sounds
wingspan.
like a small forward to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is he looks like a small forward and not really a power forward, and he doesn't really have a shot. So that's the concerning thing with Brandon Clark. So I might feel inclined to move Goga up, but I kind of wish he was at the combine because I want to know what his true height is. Is he a true 7-footer? Because that does make a difference. And also, what's his body fat? What's he coming in at? And also, is his wingspan going to be a difference maker? Does he have those 4 inches that are so intriguing to teams, or is he going to be like a Brandon Clark, who I think only has like an inch difference between between his his height at 6'8" and his wingspan, which I think is 6'9"? So that's the one thing that I really wanted to see with Goga is where was he going to test compared to these athletes that he's going into? Because if he's going up against these centers and he's testing in the top 5 in these athletic tests, then I'd be really inclined to move him up because the skills are there. I think he's one of the more skilled big men in this draft. I think Zion is the skilled big man.
Right, but after that, we talked about Walker being incredibly undersized. Then you go to the raw Jackson Hayes.
Clark. You said Walker.
I'm sorry, yeah. You kept mentioning Walker. You kept mentioning Walker. Right? That's
Clark.
why I'm like, wrong segment.
Well, Nicky Alexander-Walker is going to fall for me.
Fair enough.
Goga jumping, and I think Clark's also going to fall for me.
So with Jackson being like the true center, the number 1 true center on most people's boards, being as raw as he is, I think there's still people who are going to take the chance at the upside because of his defensive instincts.
Yeah.
But I think Goga brings a better all-around game by far, and that's an intriguing thing. If I'm a GM, I think that depends on the team and what kind of a scheme I want to run, because we're seeing big men get run off the floor during the playoffs in situations where Clint Capella isn't even viable to be on the court. Rudy Gobert run off the court. So many of these defensive centers, and you're looking at them and you're like, well, that's not working out. Limited minutes for other guys, so I wonder how valuable that is when all you can contribute is at one half of the court.
You know who wasn't getting run off the court playing 60 minutes in a 4 overtime game?
Big Honey.
Nikola Jokic. You know who wasn't getting run off the court in games? Nikola Jokic. This guy's a fucking monster. Just want to throw it out there.
Also, Joel Embiid. Just got to give a quick shout out.
He was getting run off the court because he was sick.
Well, he had the runs.
Yeah, he did. He
let everyone know.
But I think Goga is just such an interesting player, and you talk about the conditioning. That's something that is concerning in ways, and you kind of question, like, is he only playing 19 minutes a game and 16 minutes a game and 17 minutes a game because of the foul trouble? Because in those games, 5 personal fouls, 4 personal fouls, 5 personal fouls, and that's a little bit concerning. And even then, though, you look at the game and he had 2 personal fouls against a team that I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I'm just going to totally find him. He started as well. But he only played 23 in 23 minutes and 50 seconds. It's like, well, why wasn't he getting more? And you also look at the shot attempts. He's only getting there's some games with 14, 11, and 12. But then there's also games where it's kind of like Jokic, where it's like 8, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, 7, 7, 7, 4, 7, 6, 10, 6. Like, he's not getting consistent looks. And you just wonder, like, is that because of foul trouble? Is that because of conditioning? Is he being shut down? We don't really have this, massive tape and library of tape that we have with, Zion and RJ and Jackson because of, obviously these games always being broadcast because they're blue blood programs. I just wonder, like, where he would actually fit in the combine right now. If he was going up against these players like a Charles Bassey, what would he be doing?
Stomping him.
Maybe. I think
Charles Bassey's so slow, though.
He is.
That's
try telling y'all.
Yeah.
I think that with Goga, it's really just gonna come down to personal workouts. How does he look in those personal workouts to teams? Is he, testing well on their own personal things? I don't really think it's going to come down to shooting. I don't think it's really going to come down to, his interviews. I think it's really just going to strictly come down to what's his height, what's his wingspan, is he quick enough, and can he just thrive on an NBA floor? Because you can kind of coax out that aggressiveness a little bit, and you kind of want a little bit of that aggressiveness,
right?
So I think if you can control that anger a little bit, not anger, but that ability just to be like, I'm going to stuff everything coming my way. I need to make a play on every single play.
Yeah,
I think he could be a really impactful player on both sides of the floor.
Yeah,
and I think really the biggest backsides and downsides of him would just be that question marks of, all right, well, is he aggressive enough offensively? Is he too aggressive defensively? And where's his conditioning at, like you said? So I think the Celtics would definitely be an interesting team because I think they really have that ability to really coach him up. Another team that would be interesting to me is Atlanta. Because Atlanta, you could put him in a situation where he could play behind Dwayne Dedmon. He could play behind John Collins. You could put him into limited minutes already where he's going to play 20 minutes so he doesn't really have to worry about foul trouble. And that way he doesn't have to just jump right into a lineup. He can ease his way in, and he's also going to be playing with Trae Young, who's going to get him open looks and gain his confidence out there.
I like the fit.
I think it'd be a really fun fit.
But would you reach for him at 10? That's the thing.
But is it a reach? And that's the thing for me is he's moving up my boards.
Yep.
Clark's moving back. I don't really like Brandon Clark's fit anyway with the Hawks. So then it's coming down to Jackson Hayes and Goga Bitadze. And I think Goga can really be molded. I think there's more to work with there than Jackson Hayes. I think Jackson Hayes has the body, he has the athleticism, he has that defensive instincts like you were talking about, but is that offensive game ever going to be there? And is he even going to be that good of a rebounder where, you're already looking at Goga and he seems very aggressive. So you're not going to have to worry about him, shying away from grabbing boards or him shying away from, not helping out defensively. And you're going to need that with Trae Young, being a turnstile out there. I really think that he might be a little bit more intriguing because, Jackson might not be able to build that confidence up right away, where Goga, if he's getting limited minutes, but, told why he's getting these limited minutes, and obviously, hey, we don't want you to get in foul trouble, we want to use you in the correct ways and also build up your conditioning.
Yeah.
I think he could be a dangerous player.
We saw Jaren Jackson be very successful. He is a guy who had similar foul troubles. Mitchell Robinson, similar things.
Yep.
Those guys were highly effective in limited minutes, and I think that's definitely the right path to take with Goga. The big other plus for him going to the Hawks is he's not afraid to take a three. He's taken a couple threes a game basically since since the mega season started, and you see the level of effort going into that because he doesn't have a horrible shot from the outside, but you look at the Hawks and what they're trying to do, and it's very clear that they want all five guys to be able to take threes and be guarded outside the perimeter. So I don't know if they're super keyed in. We've all been mocking Jackson Hayes there because they need a center. They need a center of the future. Dwayne Dedmon's a placeholder guy, and he has expanded his game even to take threes on the Hawks. So I'd have to think the next guy they take is either going to be taking threes already, like Goga, or they're going to have to expect Jackson Hayes to learn how to take threes fairly quickly. And Jackson Hayes' outside shot is non-existent. So
his mid-range is decent. It's not horrible. I think there's something workable there, but it's not going to be like, let's just get him shots and see how it is. Like, you're going to need to actually
You're
take
hoping this guy's going to take about 3 shots a game
from
from three. That keeps people honest. And Goga can live at the foul line too. So he can bang down low. He can stretch the floor. I think fit-wise, he could be the right guy for the Hawks.
And here's the thing why I really like it.
Yeah.
Who's the head coach of Atlanta?
Who is the head coach of Atlanta?
Lloyd Pierce.
Yeah?
You know where Lloyd Pierce came from? Philadelphia.
Ah.
You know who he coached? Joel Embiid.
Uh-huh.
So a guy who has that anger, who has that passion for basketball, who has that aggressiveness, and he was able to at least, watch his growth. I don't know how effective Lloyd Pierce was in the growth of Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, I wouldn't be shocked if Joel Embiid made Joel Embiid. That guy's phenomenal.
He willed it.
but we even see with Joe, like Joe isn't the most conditioned guy. Everyone's saying that he can lose all this baby fat.
Yep.
But still, I mean, if I look like Joel Embiid, I'm not complaining.
If Joel
Dude's
Embiid
ripped.
didn't eat like McDonald's and shit like 4 days a week, he wouldn't be having these problems probably.
And we know Nikola Jokic used to chug Cokes.
Yeah. That dude's a fiend.
And I don't think Goga's that bad.
No, he's
Goga's
not.
not that bad.
He's not that bad, but he's also not like.
I think if he was tested, I think he'd have probably like 13 to 10% body fat. I think he's slimmer than Naz Reid, who came in at like 14.
I think he's similar range.
He's also taller, which is going to help him.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the thing though is like you talk
put him
about
on the Heat. That man goes body fat percentage down to 5. Like
I kind of like it. The only thing is they don't take international players. Here's the thing though. I want to go to the internet Jaren Jackson thing real quick, and then we'll go back to the Heat thing and team fits. Last 17 games was when Jaren Jackson got all games over 20 plus minutes. In those 17 games, he averaged 27.8 minutes, 46% from the field, 41% from three, 75% from the line. Only 5 boards, which was pretty shocking to me.
He was playing outside a lot.
Yeah, 1 block. But here's the big thing: 3.5 personal fouls. And that's the thing is just like you're going to give him all these minutes, but is he just going to get into foul trouble right away? And there's a couple games where he had 6 fouls.
Yeah, he fouled out several times.
4 fouls. So that's the one thing with Goga is like I think you need to put him on a team where he can grow. And that's kind of interesting that you bring up the Heat because you look at the guy who's currently playing center for him, and that's Hassan Whiteside, and he might be declining his player option, but let's say he sticks with it. Then you're going to have Hassan Whiteside,
Bam,
and Goga.
Yep.
Kind of a logjam there. And Bam's
and
already,
Kelly O, who plays stretch 5 for them at times.
But maybe that's something that I kind of like because that way you can get Bam and Goga together. You can get Kelly and Goga together, which would just stretch the floor out. And you can get Bam and Kelly together. And even if Hassan sticks around, Hassan was a guy who was built up as well in that Heat system. He was drafted by the Kings and then came over to the Heat and obviously built himself from a D-leaguer all the way up to a guy who was making 27+ million.
He was blocking shots left and right. The man was insane. When motivated, he is one of the fiercest rim protectors in the league.
And maybe, I'm not saying Goga needs to be motivated, but maybe if he's able to slim down, you can kind of learn from a guy like Whiteside if he's willing to do that. I don't know if Whiteside's willing to do that, but
yeah,
I think they're already focusing on growing Bam, right? And maybe you put him into that scenario where you also let him grow. I don't know if that's the best positional fit for them because I think
Bam
still
can
need
play
some
like
help.
a 4. We saw the pairings out there, so that's why I'm
I think maybe their need is more in the 1 and 2 range.
I don't disagree.
Rather than the big range, but I think it'd be a very interesting fit because they're already kind of like looking at those. They're already trying to work on Bam.
They're a deep team usually too. Mm-hmm. They go positionally deep.
They'll play like 10 guys, 13 guys a night. Like
Absolutely,
they'll really go deep. So the Heat is a team that's really interesting because we're saying like conditioning. You brought it up.
They are the kings of conditioning.
Body fat, weight
challenge,
loss challenge. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Any other teams? We threw out Atlanta. We threw out the Heat. You threw out the Celtics. Any team, like what if he slips? What team do you really like him at? Indiana coming to mind, San Antonio, Detroit, Orlando. Even further, do you like Oklahoma City? Where do you like Goga?
If
ideal fit,
that 20 pick for Boston, if they can get a guard at 14 and Goga's available at 20, Boston's in the money. But we already talked about Boston. So after that, ideal fit, if you fell all the way to 24, could you imagine him as the backup to Joel Embiid?
Be fun.
That would be amazing.
It'd be fun.
There'd be a lot of expectations on him.
Yeah, I think they need more of a shooter though.
They may,
or more of a wing, a guard. Like a guard to bring up the ball.
They're a guard or wing. They need some things.
Yeah,
but that one ideal fit in my mind.
I like Portland.
You like Portland?
Yeah.
You got Nurkic. You got Zach Collins. You think you got to go to the well again? It sounds like Cantor might love the city enough to re-sign for a deal.
True.
Like I think that they might have their grouping already to run the 4-5.
I just like him to learn from Nurkic.
Yeah.
And Cantor. Like I just like if he was in that locker room. You're right because Collins should be getting more minutes.
Yeah.
I feel like if my idea
Zach
for Portland
just needs to bulk up. That's his only flaw right now. Well, he's got some other flaws, but like
even my idea for Portland is play quicker. Like that's what I love. And this is no offense to Nurkic. Nurkic was fantastic. Great addition.
Awesome, yeah.
That team's better with him.
Yep.
But I just wonder what the Portland Trail Blazers would be able to do if they played quicker and faster and more loose and just played completely open.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting. I think Collins would be able to do that.
Brooklyn's another team. I know they've got Ed Davis they roll out as their small ball 5, but we watched him
Jared
just
Allen
get
too.
Abused in the playoffs against Joel Embiid. So you need a true 7-footer. I know that Allen's there and he's their primary, but like he is not strong enough in a lot of situations. So if you have Goga out there as your backup center to develop under, San Antonio's the interesting one because you go, how happy are they with Jakob Poeltl? Really? He's good. He's growing. He got better throughout the season, but he's still maybe not the ideal guy.
Yeah, I was gonna throw out Orlando too because Vucevic might leave, but obviously that
Bamba.
I know,
and
I know, but he's big. He's long. He might be long, so immediately
he could be a long boy.
He's already gonna look at that's already shooting up Orlando.
No, that's the problem. You look at all these teams. Like Detroit has their center they've got their center in Drummond. Yeah. And I don't see them being able to move him or wanting to really. Orlando
Indiana doesn't need him.
Drafted theirs. Brooklyn's got Jared Allen. Indiana has a couple centers.
Yeah.
San Antonio potentially. Boston potentially. OKC, Nerlens is not signing again. It sounds like he's going to go elsewhere, try to get some more money.
Steven Adams hasn't been great, so if you get a guy who can spell him, that'd be interesting.
Steven Adams is pretty good. He's like 25.
He wasn't that great last year. Last year was a down year for Steven Adams. He could have been a more important part to that team, and
I agree.
He did not meet expectations.
I don't know if I'm blaming him or I'm blaming the system and the coach.
I'm not saying that he was trash and needs to be moved or anything like that. Billy Donovan isn't that great of a coach. Okay. I'm just saying that he did not reach Steven Adams. I didn't think that was the best Steven Adams out there.
No,
I've always mocked Naz Reid to them.
Yeah.
So I think Goga, if he somehow fell,
that's the thing. We just rattled off like the post lottery selection, and it's looking like Boston and San Antonio are the obvious teams to take him here because further than that, Utah has Gobert. Philly has a lot of holes. Could go,
but what about Utah? Come on. Favors might leave.
So you're going to roll out 2 7-footers there?
better player to learn from than Rudy fucking Gobert?
But why you got to learn from a player when you can just play? Just play, Sean.
But it'd be cool.
I don't disagree. There'd be a lot of these cool combos of players. I love the idea of him staying behind Joel Embiid. I love the idea of him with Gobert. I love that thought, but like,
Put him
no.
on Golden State.
Are you just trying
The
to
real
piss people off?
thing is, if he fell to 26, Cleveland would get a steal.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
Oh, absolutely.
But
do you
that's
think
not gonna
any
happen.
team would trade up to that dead spot of teams we mentioned, that 15 through, say, 19?
To get him?
To get him? Is he an attractive enough European prospect to warrant a trade up from a team who isn't in that range? If they traded back, perhaps. We've been talking about trade backs too often.
If I was the GM of a team that was sitting at 23, well,
you mentioned Cleveland. Say you're at 26.
My thing is just like, why would I be trading up if I don't think they're going to take him?
But if you're trying to snipe that pick from the second Celtic pick, say that's the thing. Rumors are Celtics are going to take Goga at 20.
I'd do it. He's super interesting to me. If I was Brooklyn at that 27 pick, I'd try to trade up, or Cleveland, like you said. Yeah, I would definitely look into that. I think he's super intriguing. And it's just like I want to see him at that combine so we could actually see him, because we're not gonna be able to see any of this private workout stuff. But he's a really intriguing prospect to me. Anyways, I'd be shocked if he fell outside of the top 20. I think he's definitely worth that
I think
talent.
he's top 20 talent. It just comes down to that team need, and does he strike it? Because I think he's got
I think he's lottery talent. I just don't think he's going to go in the lottery.
Yeah, centers aren't a demanding position, you know?
We had that lottery play out, and I could have put him at 14 to
That's
to
the
Boston,
only one. But I feel like they've got 3 picks, and once you get past, Jackson Hayes, it's like, all right, well, centers are like Goga and Gafford, who's got late 1 or second round talent score written on him. Bassey, second round talent written on him.
There's Claxton too, who's been pretty impressive so far at the
point being, there's literally
combine.
2 centers in this class.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see if it's actually. Oh, and also Bobo.
Oh yeah, well.
Duh, and Taco Fall.
How did I
of course.
miss? Okay, I don't give a rip about Taco Fall, but I forgot about Bobo somehow.
Kidding about. Bruno Fernando as well.
Yeah.
So, but I look at. I think Gafford's better than Fernando. So
I think we're split on that one.
I think Fernando would be more second round. Anyways, let us know what you think best fits for Goga Bitadze would be. What team would you like to see him on, and what range do you think he can go? I think he can go anywhere from 10 to 22.
Put him on Milwaukee somehow.
That'd be fun.
I would love that.
Let him learn from Brooke.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Anyways, let us know where you think Goga would best fit in the NBA. Where do you like him? What value do you like him at? I think he's super intriguing, and again, I'm just really bummed he wasn't able to make it over the combine.
Like year 3 coming in, he'll look fantastic. I think he needs a couple of years to transition his body and the playing speed, and he's got all the tools.
If Denver just didn't need to trade away Kenneth Faried, I mean, fuck it. It'd be fun. It'd be so fun. Anyways, my 2 favorite European bigs playing together. Anyways, let us know where you think Goga Bitadze would be best fit in the NBA after the 2019 NBA draft.